What's up? What's up? What's up? Here we are. This your girl, Lady, at one night a week, and guess who's back this week?
It's your girl Moo Moo, and I'm back and better than ever.
Yay! And now I'm sounding like I'm kind of getting under the weather, but we gonna push through tonight. I missed y'all. I hope everybody enjoyed episode 3. Tonight's topic is the queer parenting life. Same sex couples parenting children. That is our topic for tonight. We were able to do a little bit of research. We watched 2 documentaries. One of them was called Finding Life documentary. It came out in 2016. It's available on Tubi. The other one was Off and Running, which was filmed in 2009, and it is available on Hoopla. I don't know if it was Prime, but I know we found it on Hoopla. Um, but most of our information is going to come for the topic tonight is from Finding Life documentary, and it's we just some of this is from experience, and some of this is mostly just modern day things or concerns or lifestyles for modern day. And we at one night a week, or oh no, we talk about any and everything. So queer parenting, my take. I'm going to start because I have a little experience. Um, I was in a relationship a few years ago, and I was involved with a female, and we chose to rock things together, stick together and raise the kids. And when things did not work out between us, and it was not because we were of the same sex, it was not because of the children, but when things did not work out between us, it we still remained close, and we actually became better outside of partnership. And what kept us together were the kids. And when I say together, I mean like we're still a blended family. We still rock out for, she's there for my kids, I'm there for hers. So, and it just seemed to me it was a lot easier to co-parent with another female, opposed to what my experience with trying to co-parent with males. So,
Do you feel like it was easier for you to co-parent with a female because both of y'all are female, so it's always the maternal instinct, and it's basically y'all can both see eye to eye because the main thing is taking care of the kids. The kids kept y'all around.
mm, the kids kept us around, but it was definitely not easier. That was not us being females. Actually, I can't say that's what made it easier, because that was challenging. It was a little bit more challenging with her being of the same sex. And what, like, most of the time with males that I date or try to co-parent with, they'll kind of be like, okay, well, this is my idea, but if you're handling it and things are fine, go with that route. When I started dealing with her, even when we went our separate ways to raise the kids, I thought she was going to be more supportive and have more feedback. And sometimes it was like, okay, she's doing me just like me, and like she leaving me off to myself to figure things out like a male. So that part was way more of a challenge. And that was wrong for me to just assume that it would be easier because she was the same sex. Well, she is the same sex. um but in the ways that made it easier is that no matter what, she's not like most guys that I've dealt with, or even my children's fathers. They say, okay, I got your back no matter what. But no, they don't. I don't really hear from them like that or whatever. But with her, even when we're separate, whatever, I know that if I contact her and say, look, this is what's going on with the kids, this is what needs to happen. I mean, she's attended more appointments than the male. She's attended, been more involved as far as therapy for the kids, things like that. So that part has made it easier, but it was still some challenges. Um so I think I can, yeah, I can at least say that, but I'm not gonna say it was easier just because she was a female. because it did take a lot of sometimes a lot of explaining and a lot of trying to demonstrate what I needed. Was she a little bit more receptive than most? Yes.
All right.
So
Um, do you feel like LGBTQ couples should be able to foster and adopt, and why?
I do.
Okay.
I feel like they should be able to foster or adopt. Because not just because I just,
Yeah.
basically have had a blended family, but because I think a child needs support and love no matter who it comes from. So I feel like race, sexuality, gender should not matter. It's about nurturing that child. And someone's nature should not dictate how they nurture. So yeah, I feel like anyone in the community should, I mean, sexual wise, gender wise, should be able to adopt or foster.
Um, I feel like they should be able to, because obviously, their heterosexual parents didn't want them
Th-
or
th-
couldn't take care of them. So
Thank you.
why does it matter if
Ding
a
ding ding.
homosexual
Mm-hmm.
goes out their way to want to take care of these children and take them in their home? Um, do you feel like it would be a benefit, or is it any benefit from the LGBT community being able to foster and adopt children?
Um, the benefit that I feel like I spoke on the nurturing that any it should be an open season for nurturing the child. One thing that I did pick up from the Equality Council, which was a spokesperson from the Family Equality Council spoke in the Finding Life documentary. One benefit that I picked up that she spoke on, she said that if all the willing LGBT couples were permitted to adopt or foster, no kid would have to age out of foster care.
I agree with that one.
Meaning that if they were allowed, if anybody in the LGBTQ community was open to fostering, we would have way less children in foster care. We would not have an overpopulation of foster care children in any state. And to me, if I was kind of sad by that, because I'm like, dang, everybody, I've lived in two states where, excuse me, where the foster care population is just excessively overcrowded. I've even had to foster children before, and it was basically easy because of so much overpopulation. I mean, it was like I kind of like picked these two kids up off the street, and it was like, oh, you're stable, you have a home, there you go. And so, excuse me. So just from seeing how overly crowded the foster care population is, even to the point where I think what in 2023, starting in 2022, before I left North Carolina, I remember them speaking in North Carolina about the Wake County Department of Social Services saying that they had so many foster children that some of the children were having to stay at social services. They were having to sleep on the floor at social services. Some of the case managers, the social workers were having to work overtime to monitor kids at the actual Department of Social Services office when you could go out and get Bobby and Ricky, or Amanda and Ashley, and say, hey, you want a kid, but because of certain stipulations surrounding people raising kids that are of the same sex, we have an overpopulated foster care system. So that kind of stuck out to me. And I feel like that would be a huge benefit if they just gave these lovely people the opportunity to open up their home temporarily. The foster care system, they say the goal is to what is it? Place children back, is to reunify families and reunify the children with their parents. So if it's temporary, then what's the big deal? Y'all put them in homes where sometimes they're getting abused. Sometimes, I'm not saying that same sex couples wouldn't do that, but I mean, let's just be for real. I mean, we could go, that could be that's a whole nother topic. But I just feel like it would be beneficial if you gave people opportunity. And I feel like the other benefit I already spoke on was the nurturing piece. these children are getting a two-parent home.
Okay, I understand. Now this question, it might be.
Wait, what about you? What do you think the benefit? Do you feel that it would be a benefit for same-sex parenting or a child being raised in a same-sex household?
I mean, getting them out the system into. I feel like if the kid's gonna get love and get taken care of and
Mm-hmm.
have some guidance, it don't matter.
Yep. Basically the same thing. Yeah.
It don't matter.
Right.
This question I know I've been wanting to ask because homosexual relationships are always called U-Haul relationships because
Mm-hmm.
they move fast.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think when same-sex couples go to the foster agencies, adoption agencies, should they ask how long have y'all been together? Because I mean, homosexual relationships move fast. You can meet 1 week,
Yes.
3 weeks
Yes.
later, you
Yes.
moving
I
in,
mean, seriously,
and
I
month
know. I
two,
was
be
in
getting
one
married.
and
I mean, then
I was in one and I can say like we started talking in June. July was our first date, and by October, it was a propose. Like by
and
October,
that
that was
wasn't
my
even
fiance,
fast
and
because it
that
took a
wasn't
whole
even.
month for y'all to
Thank
even go on a
you.
date.
Like yeah, but
I'm just saying because I've seen it, especially female. They do the IVF or they do the whole foster adoption process and break up. And now they stuck between who's going to take the child, who's going to
okay.
do that.
So I think that your question was, should they ask how long the couple has been together? I think that is not a bad question at all. I think yeah, in fact, they should because that actually gives the agency a foundation on okay, what are we looking at here? Is this like a chop shop type of thing or is this something long term? But what I can say as far as speaking to the families, if you are going to do that, I don't care if y'all met and started and moved in with each other 1 day or 20 days or 200 days, you need to set when you are bringing children into the mix, establish a contract. Even if you're not married yet, establish a contract. Go into these agencies already prepared and say, yes, this is when we were together for this amount of time, but this is what we're already prepared. Have a ready set type of raising resume. That's what I call it. Have a raising resume ready, and that will show them that okay, well they have some aftercare plans set up for if the relationship falls into a demise point, then this is where we're at as far as time for the kids, who gets the kids. We already have that mapped out, and that's what I had to do with my ex partner, and I mean it has worked for the most part. And I think that was a great idea, and that was something that I don't know why I decided to do it this in this relationship, and I did not do it in my heterosexual relationships, but it worked out. I think I said I don't know why, but I think right now what's coming to me is it was the stability. I did have more of a stable relationship to a sense as far as like financially with this female. So it was easier to come to her and say, okay, we're not working, but what's working? And we were able to look at what was working and what wasn't working. And the one thing that was working was us both being there and providing for the kids. So it was easier for us to make a contract, more so than if I was dating a male. So yeah.
Understandable. Basically,
Hmm.
setting boundaries, setting
Yes, ahead of
rules.
time.
Not even rules.
Yeah,
It's getting on the
plan
same page,
on the
so we
same
know
page.
when it comes if that
Even if we
happens,
disagree, what are we going to agree on?
and we
What do we
already
agree
know
on?
what's the
Yes.
plan.
And if you go to these people already ready, if what did they say? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So go to these agencies and be ready, be prepared.
Proper planning prevents poor performance.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Yes, that's the 5 P's. I meant 6, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm in here moving my fingers, Lord. If y'all can see me, don't, girl.
Yeah,
I'm counting them down too.
yeah.
P
I
P P
know.
P.
There are 10 states where individuals and couples can be refused religious conflict.
10 opposed to in 2016 there were 14.
Yeah.
So almost
Um,
10 years later.
a couple of them is Virginia, North Carolina.
Okay.
North.
Girl, I am screwed on this math tonight. Yo, Go ahead,
Sorry,
Moo
y'all.
Moo. Go ahead, Moo Moo.
Virginia, North Dakota, Utah, Mississippi, and Arkansas are a couple of the states where they can refuse you based on religious conflict. But if you're so religious, how are you refusing somebody for committing one sin, as they say, when you're committing another by judging?
And let's break down what she means by religious conflict. So don't think that we're saying, oh, because of this religion and you're not of that religion, you can't. No.
No,
We're
it's
not mixing the
people's
religion and the
own belief.
sexuality stuff. What we're saying is if you go to certain states and you say, hey, my name is Amber and I'm dating Ashley and I want that kid, and they say, well, we don't believe in that due to our religion and
Yeah,
Martin, Matthew and Angel, this and that, we don't believe in that, so we will not, we don't have to give you services, we don't have to work with you. So they can discriminate basically, because that's what it's called. um they can discriminate
they
on
can legally
they can
discriminate against you.
legally, I don't even want to say legal, but they can discriminate against you because you come in there with your wubby or you know
Your stubby.
your stubby or whoever. If you step up in there, y'all got the same Hakuna Matatas, they can just ask you out right then and there. And again, that was Virginia, Idaho, North Dakota, Mississippi, Arkansas, Utah. That was just a few out of the 10. Idaho.
Idaho potatoes.
Idaho potatoes. You coming in with the same spuds? Yeah, out, stud. They ain't messing with you. So yeah, don't even go up in there with your blue blazers and stuff on, cause they ain't have
Um.
it.
So I wanna let's talk about the kids now. Enough with the parents and
Let's
the
get to the
couples.
churn. Let's get to the churn.
Do you think it'd be confusing for the kids? How do you think um this is one of the questions I know most people want to know. How do y'all think the kids will feel? Do you think the kids will be like, I don't want two mamas? Or, hey, I'm willing to go whoever willing to love and show me real love and tender care?
Okay, speaking from experience, my kids didn't give one corn cob to a piece to an apple. They were like, "What? Two of y'all up in here? What? Stability? Cool. Yep. Okay." My kids even gave the my partner, and they were like, "You gonna always be mama, you mommy, but that's mom, which means mother or parent or other parent, mom, other parent, whatever." So mom or whatever, they knew they were provided for. So my kids didn't care. But and at the time I had some that were young. So yeah, I don't know if it was, I don't know, maybe it's because I was a mama and they used to craziness, I guess. But they didn't care. And they still don't. But it's some kids.
Me personally, I feel like the younger, the more confusing because it'd be harder to explain to a young child, like, we're both your mother because in the real world, they try to make it as mom and dad, two parents, husband and wife, not wife and wife, husband and husband. So I think as they get older, it would be easy to explain and break down. Like,
Yeah, because I think when I started, the youngest was going on 5.
yeah,
The youngest literally had, as a matter
yeah,
of fact, it was like
and
not even, it was like 2 weeks after her 5th birthday. But my honestly, I feel like the adults have more of an issue. I know around the time that I was in this same sex relationship, with this serious same sex relationship, my family, I mean, it was a lot of my adult family members that were smiling in my face and then turning around and going to other family members and talking about me. I mean, even some that are not as religious were like, "Oh, she's full of demons," and da 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 da. So it was more so the adults were offended. I even had some male friends that were like, are you serious? I can't believe you're doing this right now. And I'm like, are you mad it's not you that I'm dating, or do you really have an
I
issue?
just think people need to mind their fucking business when it comes.
Beep! My bad. We forgot.
I'm sorry.
Beep!
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah.
I think they just need to mind their business. Like if you're not taking care of them kids, it don't matter if they got two daddies, two mamas, two uncles,
And
three
then
uncles. It don't matter.
yeah,
You're not taking care of them kids.
and I
You're
totally
not trying to
agree.
help them kids. If
And
two mamas make the whatever, if it help them
if the
kids,
two mamas feeding you at night and clothing you, if the two papas doing it,
I
baby,
mean,
live on. Ain't nobody
hey,
coming to
I
you asking you for
mean,
nothing. But and another thing too, when you said the younger the child, the more confusing. Our grandson, he was very young. He's only 4 now. He literally just turned 4. So he knows that he has grandma, which is me, and he has Yaya. And he's never said, how you grandma and you Yaya? Or he's never come to me and said, why I don't have no, where my grandpa? He knows he has a grandpa, but he knows as far as financially and all that, if it ain't your mama, it ain't your daddy, it's Yaya grandma. It's
but
somebody coming your way. We
but
we
I
got you. But
I
I don't
feel like
know,
it's
you
also the
know?
parents. People can be ignorant
Yes.
and teach their kids ignorance, and his
Yes.
parents aren't ignorant when it comes to that.
Yeah. His mom is to the point where, like, I've heard my son and his son's mother have conversation before, and he'll be like, oh no, that's my mom's new dude, or he'll be telling her that I'm dating somebody else, and she'll say, oh, okay, so where's Yaya? Where's Yaya? So we, even though we're not together, everybody know that's how the family is
Yeah.
blended. So, and my grandson doesn't question it. He's used to it. He doesn't seem like, what's going on. He knows. So I think, yeah, it is about how it's presented. It is about, and I think we're such an openly blended family that we show our grandson and other children, like, here, this is a difference, and this is how life is. And although we normalize our life, we also keep him connected to the way the world wants everything to be set
A
up.
right or
And
wrong instead of
yes,
being you.
exactly. So yeah.
Um, there, a lot of LGBT foster families, foster parents, do face things like where the kids have attachment disorders, mental health problems, bullying at school interactions. Um, honestly, I don't think nobody really. I mean, in this generation, I don't think nobody really gives a flip and fly who taking care of you no more. Especially kids this generation. They he, she, her,
Yeah,
them, bird, dog, cat,
it's
rat.
different. I think it's even different from when you were in grade school back in the
Yeah.
early 2000. Now, and the question was, what are some concerns that LGBT, I like to add that Q at the end, the
Me
LGBTQ
too.
plus foster parents face. I just feel like, yeah, they may face that the kids might be bullied at school or in social interactions based off them having a same sex parents. There will be attachment disorders. There are mental health issues, but this is how I feel about that. Um, I feel like those issues are going to arise now, regardless if you have a single parent, a mama, a daddy, if you are kinship raised. I think that it doesn't matter now. Bullying comes in every variation. The people now, even adults, find any reason to push someone out of their own individualism and knock them for anything. It can be your hair, it can be how you walk, it can be how you talk. And attachment disorders, they are very common now in any individual. They come from every angle. I mean, if your mom put you in your car seat 5 minutes longer than what she did your older brother, you supposedly have this diagnosis and that diagnosis now. So attachment disorders, mental health issues, they fallen out the woodworks, like, everywhere. The mental health issues, attachment disorders, they're from every angle, not just isolated to the LGBTQ plus community. So get a therapist, go to family therapy, pray about it, do what you need to do. And although every parent should consider these concerns when it comes to parenting or raising their children, I believe that this specific question populated because it seems to be the same sex parenting would be more prevalent. The bullying and things like that may be more prevalent in families with same sex parents as the head of household, and maybe also because those children may be fostered or adopted, and they may come from traumatic past or something like that. But again, um, anything gives people a reason to isolate and bully now. So are they concerning? Yeah. Would they be more so concerning if a child had the same sex parents? Maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, life. I don't think that now. Now we're talking about a different time. I don't think that is a reason that a person would be just solely isolated. Because they would be more so isolated for because so more so people are prone now to get bullied more so for having purple hair than they are for really having parents of the same sex. I mean, we're in a world now where the parents are defending their children because their children are wanting to be a part of the trans community. You know what I'm saying? So we have bigger fish to fry, I feel like. So I don't really think that that's so much of a concern. I'm not saying that it is not one, but it is not as prevalent of a concern as it was back in the day. Um, and again, the documentaries that we watched, especially Finding Life documentary, the issues that I actually ascertained from watching that documentary was that there was out of what, five same-sex couples, there was only one of those couples that were women. Women were rarely featured when they spoke about, the statistics of adopting and fostering and being into a same-sex household. Women were that the ratio of women were rarely mentioned. And as far as race, there were mostly white couples.
I don't mean to cut you off, but was it an issue that it was rarely women because you are a woman that has co-parented with another woman?
Mm-mm.
Because I'm gonna be honest, women adopt another child doing IVF with another woman, it never ends good.
Not always.
I can name five
Okay.
couples right now.
But before you name those couples, I know it wasn't about the fact that I'm a woman.
I
It
was just
was,
asking because some people gonna
yeah, yeah,
say,
yeah.
"Was that the reason why
No,
she?"
no,
And
no.
most of the time, gay men are going to adopt because they really can't have children.
But what was so interesting in watching that documentary, out of the four same sex male couples that we watched, there were at least two of those two partners, not in the same, relationship, but two separate partners stated, I knew from when I was a child that, when I was a little boy, that I was going to be a dad. So they, it wasn't about the fact that they can't, no, they can make babies, and they knew they wanted to make babies, but they didn't want to share a child with a woman. But two of the men I remember specifically saying, I always wanted to be a dad, and things like that. And no, it didn't have anything to do with me being a woman, as why I noticed that women were rarely featured in the documentary. It was obvious. It was just one same sex female couple. And I just felt like if you were going to talk about ratio and statistics, let's felt like if you're going to make the ratio and the statistics of the documentary based off same sex couples as a whole, at least make it a little equal. Give us a little blend. Even if they would have added one more female same sex couple, that would have meant more than what I saw.
I
But
I understand what you're saying, but coming from somebody that has most of my friends are homosexual males, they, I mean, I'm gonna just say it. Female and female, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the right way to say it. It's like two males. They always say a father is more easygoing than a mother.
Oh, that don't have anything to me to
But
do with
listen,
being same sex.
no,
You
no, 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 no.
the
Listen,
heterosexual couples argue about the mom
no,
having to be the more dominant
it's not even that.
person in the
From what I've seen, when
household.
it's say two females, by even doing IVF or doing a foster child, it's always one woman. That's not my child. I didn't push that child out. That child's never listened to me. That's not my child, so I can
But
go.
that's not
You
all
wanted this child.
females.
I didn't say all females,
Okay.
but the majority that I have seen, that's how it always ends up. Oh, I didn't push that child out. That's not mine. Whereas the two males, we wanted this child. We're gonna take care of this
But
child.
in the documentary, there was several of those male couples that one partner wanted the child and the other partner was like, I didn't get into this to have a kid. And so they kind of had to work their way into it. And that's how they opted for fostering opposed to adopting. And then after the children would grow onto the partner that was opposed to the male partner that was opposed to adopting, well, to having children, then some of them ended up adopting. And I noticed that one of the couples actually went through a surrogate or something because they had a newborn fresh out the hospital. They went
They
and
got money.
yeah, and speaking of money, that's exactly where we come in with other issues that were raised in the documentary that I watched. It was like the wealth and income thing. And when you look at it, more same sex male couples are able to adopt or foster way quicker because men make more money than women
And
still in this
and
day.
foster and adopting costs more than your freaking rent.
Yes, men make more money than women, and that's still going on. Specifically, Caucasian men, they make a buttload more. And so with that being said, that does to me it that was one of the things that stuck out as to why it was so much easier for men to adopt same-sex male couples to adopt over female.
I also think another reason why I feel it's easier for two men to adopt is because I'm sick of this theory. I'm sick of hearing it. A child needs their father. A child needs their father. A child needs their father.
Yeah.
A child also needs their mother.
Yes. and
A
and
child
now,
also needs, but actually, child needs both of their
and
parents.
I think from being, I'm an 80s baby all the way the best, but I feel like coming from that generation and being raised predominantly in the 90s and things like that, it's a more broader, old school mindset. And me starting to become, when I became a mother, it was the early 2000s. So I had to, get with it. And so things have definitely changed from 20 something odd years ago when I first became a mom. So that mindset of, oh, a child needs their father, a child needs their father. These days and times, these children living young, fast, and free, they need whoever's gonna give them proper guidance. And if that is John and Dan or Helen and Ashley, let it be. Let it be. We've had to do a lot of that. I've had to do a lot of that. And there were times that I've just guided and nurtured children by myself as a single parent. So yeah, if Christine want to come in and be Christine, we make it shake. And then if Marky or whoever want to jump in and finally help co-parent, then we're not turning y'all away either. Come on, bro, let's get it. Let's work together. It takes a village, and that's one thing that sticks in my mind when I think about all the same-sex parenting or parenting. Period. Back in the day, I remember my grandmother always saying it takes a village, and Aunt Jamie could pop me or Uncle Harry, and then Grandma would pop me again. So that's what we still need. We still need that village. And if it so happens to be a part of the LGBTQ, then we'll take the LGBTQ plus village too, for 300. And so that's just how I feel. That was my opinion. I think. Do you have anything else to add, Moo? Because I think we
Oh no,
pretty much
I
addressed
said
this topic.
everything.
Yeah. I really would like to thank you all for being a part of our team, and I hope that you all enjoyed this podcast. Please leave your comments, like, share, all of the above. Don't forget about the journal giveaway. We are going to announce the journal winners during season 5's podcast next week. Um, and don't forget, we're available on Podbean and we are available on YouTube right now. We have other platforms in the works, but right now you can catch us between YouTube or Podbean. And we are now one night a week. Give us our props. Keep joining our team. Keep being phenomenal. Good night.
And we're out.